Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're as excited as I am. It's Wireless Tuesday. Wireless Tuesday is a monthly podcast that revolves around Cisco wireless LAN and related technologies. It's a way for me and my colleagues on the Cisco Global Wireless team to give back to the community that's given us so much. My name is Jason Grant, and I'm your host. Let's get it going. It's Wireless Tuesday. Thank you for joining this special edition Wireless Tuesday podcast. My name is Jason Grant, and I'm a global wireless specialist here at Cisco, and I'm going to be presenting my enterprise networking wireless ordering playbook. Before I get too far, I want to talk about the components that make up an AeroNet wireless LAN. Now, it may seem obvious where I start here, but I'm going to start at the access point. These are Wave 2 802.11 AC access points. They come in various form factors, including a modular form factor, which opens up for some pretty exciting capabilities. Now, these access points, they need a control plane, and that control plane is the wireless LAN controller. This handles firmware updates, configuration changes, and allows the access points to work together as a system. It's available as an appliance, a virtual appliance, or even on the access point itself. We call this feature Mobility Express. Now, I've put these components here in green because, frankly, this is all you need. This is it for an AeroNet wireless LAN deployment. Now, we can enhance that deployment with some other features, and I'm going to put those other features in blue. These are optional features. For example, an access layer switch that provides universal PoE or multi-gigabit Ethernet. You know, the last thing we want is the wired network to be a bottleneck to our multi-gigabit wireless network. So we want to make sure that we put in an appropriate access layer switch. The Identity Services Engine provides authentication services, device profiling, and portal services for guests and for other applications. Prime Infrastructure works hand in glove with the CMX Mobility Services Engine. Here is where we do network device management, lifecycle management, and wireless heat maps. And together with the analytical component of CMX, we get clean air RF analytics and locations for clients and interferers and rogues directly into the heat maps in Prime Infrastructure. And for customers who want to do software-defined access, we define intent in DNA Center. This is where configuration automation is done and where network assurance takes place. This is the anatomy of a Cisco AeroNet wireless LAN. Now, when I'm called on to build an order in Cisco Commerce Workspace or CCW, this is essentially the roadmap that I follow. I start at the left side, right? What access point makes the most sense? Here's a sample of a couple of different access points. Now, these access points, they come with a lifetime warranty, which means that we'll provide advanced replacement of the access point if it were ever to fail. But how long? Well, 5 years following when we end of life a particular access point. So that's why we call it the limited lifetime warranty. But now then I would pick the most appropriate controller. So here's another sampling of controllers here. If I get an appliance controller, I will want to make sure that I get maintenance. SmartNet, 8x5 by next business day costs 13% of whatever the list price of that controller is. But some deployments might actually call for Mobility Express as the most appropriate controller. Now, we don't charge anything extra for that. However, if you have a deployment with Mobility Express, we may choose to get SmartNet on the access points that are running Mobility Express so that we have access to things like software updates and TAC support. Now, so far, we've just talked about hardware. We haven't talked about software. Software features are available in two different ways, two different licensing types. One is a perpetual or a permanent license and an annualized service contract. We call that SWIS or SWSS, Software Support Services. Or it's available as a subscription, which includes software support services. More on these in just a minute. Independent of that decision, we would want to get Prime Infrastructure Base. This is a one-time cost of $120, and it's $24 per year for maintenance. Now, if we want to run ICE, we need a virtual machine. So that's $59.90. And then if I get that a la carte, then I'm going to want to make sure that I have maintenance for that. If I get that through Cisco One or one of the DNA licenses, then maintenance for that virtual appliance is included in that license cost. And then if I'm running DNA Center, any of the things that DNA Center would be used for, software-defined access, network assurance, then I'd want to make sure I have that appliance, and then there would be SmartNet associated with that as well. Now, when I get into software feature licensing, that's where we have a couple of different options. I'm going to compare them side by side so that you can make a determination as to what makes the most sense. Now, I'm going to start at the left-hand side. This is a la carte licensing, getting licenses for each of the products independently, right? We need a license to connect an AP to a controller. That license is tied to the controller family, and it costs $200 per access point, plus Swiss maintenance is $26 a year. So it's a one-time cost of $200 plus $26 per year. Then Prime Infrastructure life cycle is $105 a year plus maintenance. Of course, we need Prime Infrastructure Base. Again, that's a one-time cost. We don't have to buy that for every access point. It's just a one-time cost for the deployment. CMX, we need to, we can add CMX separately. ICE, you can see that ICE, if I want to just get an average of 25 ICE licenses per AP, that average cost is going to, again, be averaged out to $125 per access point for ICE Base, $500 per access point for ICE Plus. The ICE VM, $59.90. Now, if I add all of those up, the sum of all of the one-time costs is $12,225, and then the sum of the per AP is $13.15. So if I have, say, 50 access points, then I would take $13.15 times 50, which is $65,750, and then I would add to that the one-time cost of $12,225, which is $66,975. So just simple math. And then you can kind of extrapolate the costs. Compared to a la carte, I would like to show you another permanent license or a perpetual license called Cisco One Foundation. Cisco One Foundation is $350 per access point, and it's $53 per year with discounts if you get more than 500 or more than 1,000 licenses at a particular time. Now, this Cisco One Foundation comes with a license to connect any AP to any controller. It's a portable license. It comes with a Prime Infrastructure Lifecycle license. It doesn't come with Prime Base, so we want to make sure that we get Prime Base. I put it in red there because it's like the number one thing that people forget to get. It comes with CMX base location. It comes with ICE base for 25 devices per access point. And if we're going to use ICE, we need at least one VM, so there's a cost there. Adding all of those up, comparing them side by side, the one-time cost is $62.80 plus $615 per access point. Now, these are the permanent and perpetual licenses. These are just kind of two of the options. There are a couple of other options. We have some promotions going on, so make sure you check the promotions page for some other promotions that might be available to you. But we also have now subscription licenses, and I want to talk about those. So first of all, we have DNA Essentials. Now, DNA Essentials is unlike anything we've had in the past, and it's really exciting to have this as an offering because it is the least expensive, by far, way for a customer to get into enterprise Cisco wireless. It's $75 per access point per year, and it comes in terms of 3, 5, or 7 years. It includes maintenance. It includes a portable license to connect any AP to any controller. It includes Prime Lifecycle. Of course, you want to make sure you get Prime Base. And that's it, right? It doesn't have any of the extra stuff, except for it does have a license for DNA Center, base automation, and base assurance services. This license is $245 as a one-time cost and $375 per access point. Of course, this doesn't include the cost of the DNA Center appliance, but the software feature licenses, again, one of the least expensive ways to get into enterprise-class Cisco wireless. And we do have DNA Advantage, which is $105 per AP per year in a 3-year term, discounted if you go into a 5 or 7 year term. It has the same kind of things that DNA Essentials has, except it does allow for full software-defined access and full network assurance for those customers that want to run the DNA Center appliance. It's $245 as a one-time cost, plus $675 per access point. It's a great value. And then for customers who want to do all of that, plus have ICE and have all of their licensing simplified, we have Cisco One Advantage subscription. This is $225 per access point per year in a 3-year term, discounted if you go for a 5 or a 7-year term. It comes with all of the same things that DNA Advantage comes with, but it also includes CMX base, ICE base, and ICE Plus, right? So I added in a virtual machine here because we're going to be running ICE, but then the one-time cost is $62.35 plus $1,000 per access point. So you can see side by side how I might be able to determine what licensing mechanism might make the most sense for my customer and what might add the most value. So it's not about future-proofing so much as it's about, let's simplify the ordering process and make sure that the components that your customers will be running are covered in the licenses in the most efficient manner and at the least cost. Now that we've seen these side by side, I'd like to drill into a couple of these just for some more clarification. First of all, I want to talk about Cisco One Foundation. This is the permanent license. It's $350 list price for one new license. It includes the ability to connect any AP to any controller, a portable license. It includes Prime Lifecycle and Prime Assurance, and MSE base location and ICE base. Now for customers who have existing wireless LAN controllers, and their deployment is less than 2 years old, right? They're still in their current refresh cycle. Then we offer a special promotion that brings that $350 down to $250. Now, when you get this license, you do not get a new controller AP license. Now you do get a new Prime Lifecycle license, Prime Assurance, ICE, and MSE. So those are new licenses that issued to you. But what we do, instead of issuing a new license for a controller, we just simply acknowledge that you have an existing license, and that acknowledgement then makes that license portable. For customers who have controllers and Prime Lifecycle, that $350 license now is $200. Again, we do not issue a new license for controller or Prime Lifecycle. We just simply acknowledge that you have that. We can do that actually. This is what allows for smart licensing as well, if you want to do that. And then introduces new licenses for Prime Assurance, MSE, and ICE. And if we have a competitive solution in place at a particular customer and we want to have them migrate over to a Cisco network, and they want to do a permanent license type solution, we can do Cisco One Foundation for $200. These are where we'll issue brand new licenses, just like the $350 license, but this is just simply an incentive to go from a competitive solution to Cisco. I want to drill into the wireless subscription offers as well. Specifically, I want to make a point that these are really geared towards the newer controllers, the 3504, the 5520s, and the 8540s. These are right-to-use controllers, which means that when we go to the license page on these controllers, it will ask me how many licenses I have. Rather than installing a license file, it just simply says, how many licenses do you have? And it will work within the confines of what you tell it. And of course, Wave 2 access points, you'll see some asterisks like Wave 1 with limited functionality. That just simply means that when we're using this with software-defined access, the Wave 1 access points don't have all of the same capabilities as the Wave 2 access points. Now, software support is included in all of the subscriptions, as are software updates. So DNA Essentials, again, $75 per AP per year in 3, 5, or 7-year terms. And then DNA Advantage. DNA Advantage gives full SDA. And then Cisco One Advantage includes ICE Base and ICE Plus and CMX. Now, there has been a question, well, how come there's no upgrade SKU to upgrade from Essentials to Advantage or from Advantage to Cisco One Advantage? And well, I had that question too. The answer is, it's simple. These are subscriptions. If you want to have DNA Advantage and you own DNA Essentials, then you simply cancel the subscription of DNA Essentials and then get a new subscription for DNA Advantage. It's really that simple. If you want to go from Advantage to Cisco One Advantage, then you cancel your DNA Advantage subscription, and then you transfer the remainder of the funds over to your Cisco One Advantage subscription. It's really quite simple. This has been a presentation of my Cisco Aeronet wireless ordering playbook. I would love to hear your comments and suggestions for how I can improve this, and any kind of comments that you have about how you've been able to use it. This has been a presentation of Cisco's Wireless Tuesday. Be sure to continue the conversation at ciscofullbars.com, and at the top, click on the CFB Spark community. There, you can connect with scores of like-minded wireless LAN professionals. Be sure to subscribe to the Wireless Tuesday podcast using your favorite podcast player, and stay up to date by subscribing to the Wireless Tuesday newsletter at wirelesstuesday.fm. We will see you next month for an exciting episode of Wireless Tuesday.